Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the hit podcast show for Georgia Gwinnett College. Of course, this is the Grizzly Talk podcast, now streaming on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Spotify. So we're back here doing the Grizzly Talk podcast, and we got another exciting RSO here. This RSO, I have been waiting to do a podcast on the show for sure, because they are outside, they're always innovating, and they're really drumming it up. Of course, I have three gentlemen. So how do I like to do it on the podcast is I like them to introduce themselves, and then we ask them questions, but it is Grizzly Percussion. This is the RSO that's been around, and you're walking outside on the lawn, or you're getting ready to go to the next building for your classes, and you hear some really good music, some really good drums, and you're wondering, where is that coming from? What is that? Then you see it's Grizzly Percussion doing their thing. So I'll let the three gentlemen introduce themselves, and we'll ask them the questions on the podcast show for sure.
My name is Tyler Jamison. I am just a member of the Grizzly Percussion, and
My name is Hunter Mosley. I'm the president of Grizzly Percussion, and we look forward to serving the community in the future, and we love every single one of you.
Hey, I'm Colin Blinkenship. I'm the vice president, and what the last guy said.
Absolutely. So, again, I am so glad. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on to the podcast show for sure. I wanted to let you guys go ahead and explain what exactly is Grizzly Percussion and what inspired you guys to first start the RSO this year, start it back up again, and what inspires you to let not only your voice be heard on the podcast, but let your music, your drums be heard out there in the GGC community. And just to kind of explain it to the students that may not know of it, or who may be interested in doing or joining this RSO.
I'd like to get a member's perspective on this first. So Tyler, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what does Grizzly Percussion mean to you?
well, Grizzly Percussion to me means opening oneself up to more cultures. Like outside, normally we will do, we'll start playing with like African drums and marching drums, trying to like get like more variety spread out there to the community and just.
You know what he was saying. I'm gonna bridge off of that. We study a number of different styles. Traditional African percussion is one of them. We've delved into Latin percussion as well as a traditional American drumline, and we're open to moving into more and more exciting different styles. And this is about just meshing with the community and realizing here at Georgia Gwinnett we're linked into a place that is one of the most diverse institutions in the Southeast right now, and there's so many different kinds of people out here, and we want to mesh with all those different cultures and all those different people and be able to show them what we love, and for them to be able to show us what they love. And percussion is one of the center focals of any culture's music, of any culture. Even when cultures in the past have gone on the battlefield, percussion has been what has led them and what has driven them in their passion and in their cause to fight for what they believe in. And that is what we believe in here, is fighting for what we believe in. And we believe in music and we believe in love.
Okay, you make that hard to follow up, Hunter. Personally, going back into that whole, that was, a minute ago? Going about how different styles, one of my favorite things that we do is when we just take a bunch of the different random drums, we play what we want to play, and we just make something that works and it sounds good. That's one of my favorite things that we do.
These drums could be from a variety of different places in the world too. Like we'll have a djembe out there with an American marching snare, and that's not the traditional combination, but we don't see ourselves as traditional in the very least.
Cajon from South America.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we're just trying to open people up to new cultures and
possibilities, right? And creating our own culture here at the school is important to us as well. And so in mixing all these together, we're growing and figuring out our own style as we go.
And mixing that is reflective of America and honestly of Gwinnett County, which is an incredibly diverse place to begin with. So it's just reflective all in general of what we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do see the culture that you guys bring to the campus, and it's phenomenal, honestly. I saw you guys, I think we mentioned before we started recording, last Thursday, I'm walking out of class and I see you guys by the statue, the Grizzly statue, and you guys are drumming it up and you're letting your instrument, your music be heard out there to the GGC population. And it's a real good thing. One thing I like to do on the podcast show, of course, social media is the thing to go to help branch yourselves out. So GDC students, they do have an Instagram page, of course. It's Grizzly_percussion. I keep wanting to say production for some crazy reason, but it's Grizzly_percussion, and they have a huge following. They're seeing a whole bunch of images, and your images are very... How the way the camera takes your photos is very interesting. I really like this one in particular. You guys are in front of the B building with the 4 pillars, and one of those pillars has the word creativity, and you guys are bringing that to the branch of Grizzly Percussion for sure, for that creativity. What are ways that do you go to different locations on campus to play your instruments and let your voice be heard? Let's say if you want to play in front of Res Life, if you want to play in front of Starbucks, if you want to play in front of A building, do you have an idea that you want to branch out and you want to play in different areas, or do you guys have a certain focus in front of B building?
Well, B building is where most of the arts classes are based, and where most of the music professors live on this campus, basically.
And where we store pretty much all of our drums.
And yeah, we store all of our drums in B building, so that is one of the easiest places for us to go. But recently, I've just kind of thought, hey, more people need to see us, more people need to know that we're here. And so playing in different points on campus. One of the things I love about doing that is seeing people walk by and they just kind of bob in their head, like just bob in their head like, hey, what is that? That sounds cool, man. And I just
take a video.
Yeah, absolutely. Random people just take videos sometimes. Like, yeah.
And do they put it on Instagram? Do they tag you guys, or how does that go?
People just take videos. We don't know what ends up with them. Sometimes, I would love it if they would tag us on Instagram.
Because that's how RSOs they get started. Branching out with social media is where they see something, they take video, and then they hashtag. Hashtags are very important in social media because those hashtags go out there to their system, and then everyone reaches it, everyone sees it. And possibly GGC itself, whoever runs the GGC accounts, they see it and they say, okay, here's an RSO, they're branching out. So it's really good. I encourage students to take video and hashtag them, of course, at Grizzly_percussion for sure. But back to what you were saying about the different locations.
It's funny, you said A building, but we haven't actually done that yet, but now I might. That sounds like a good idea.
Do you think it'll be a challenge though? Because there's classes there, and you never know.
Right in front of the library because it is the library. We don't want to cause a bunch of noise in a place that's supposed to be quiet.
And playing outside, even in itself, makes sound will resonate over to the library.
Right. It echoes everywhere.
What I love is if they have me on bass and I hit the bass and I hear a triple echo off the library building.
It'll bounce off the library and then off H building, and then you can just hear the sound waves moving. And it's funny, the fact that you say that kind of is our essence, isn't it?
It's like
a reverberation.
Our music carries pretty well, and B building is pretty central, so we'd like to stay in this area. But again, we don't want to disrupt other people's classes.
Right.
But we don't resign ourselves to only one area either. That's we've started to branch out this semester. That's why
really
I've done
good.
that.
The fun part is playing in the middle of the sun at 80 degrees.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, it's pretty hot. We say that it's July 71st, and July's been over, but it feels still like July and October now. The water is good. Stay hydrated when you guys playing them drums for sure.
Gallon a day, right?
Gallon a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe more like 2 to 3. I know 2 to 3 is kind of our grace period where there's not really classes going on. They're more like meetings. So do you guys target that time, or just
On Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Our meeting times on Tuesdays and Thursdays are from 2 until 3 o'clock. We generally meet in front of B building or in front of B 1500, the room 1500, if anybody's interested in meeting at that time. But yeah, we try, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're introducing people to new styles, new percussion, and just kind of trying to come up with more creative concepts with individuals and members of our club. Tyler can attest to that for sure.
Also, real quick, you also mentioned that playing in front of Res Life.
yes.
We never considered doing that before. We probably should consider doing that.
I would consider it for sure. It's not about me, but I used to be a resident assistant for 2 years, and to see the growth in Res Life now, the different cultures, the different diversity, the different students, over about 800 students now. reaching up to 1,000 students. They're trying to get that. They even opened up 3,000 building for more students. So I think it'd be a good center focus point for them too. Maybe at a grace period. Definitely not at night where people are trying to do studying or go to bed. Absolutely, but more like during a day where students are coming in and out from classes, going in and out from Res Life, and again, tons of students that stay there. Maybe you could play in front of them and to see what they think, and maybe have some recruiters that might want to join this RSO. A lot of new freshmen too. Majority of our freshmen Res Life, and my brother's an RA now, and he has quite a few.
I mean, there's a population of like 700 some odd, maybe to 1,000 people that live over there now. And that's a good 0.6% of our entire population at this school.
Yes.
It's incredible to see the growth around here too. 13,000 people go to school here, and we hope to grow alongside that. That's one of our goals. Just to point out, we will be at Grizzly Fest here on Saturday, October 5th.
That question next.
Sure. I don't mean to go ahead of you. My bad. I don't mean to go ahead of you. Yeah.
We'll go ahead and talk about that, and then we do have some instruments here, and we'll want you guys to explain what instrument this is. Of course, maybe for video. For audio, you probably may not be able to see it because you're hearing it, but maybe the video can explain the instruments here, the drums, of course. So, yeah, absolutely. If you feel comfortable, we'll play a little bit. So, Grizzly Fest. I'm excited about it. We're going to be doing GTP. We're doing an hour spectacular recording session there at Grizzly Fest. What are you guys' plans for Grizzly Percussion at Grizzly Fest? Are you going to play and you're going to walk around and just show the students how that works?
We have a couple things going on, actually.
Yeah. Go ahead, Colin. Go ahead.
So we are performing at 12:45.
Okay.
Grizzly Percussion is outright performing.
I believe in front of the library, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe we're going off stage. But at 11:15, we managed to get through some faculty that we work with, including our faculty advisor, Dr. Todd Mueller. We have
his name is Dr. Scott. He actually, our faculty advisor, Todd Mueller, Dr. Scott is the one that taught him how to play the drums. And he's going to be coming onto campus, and we're going to have a drum circle that's run by him. He runs a nonprofit organization in Athens that reaches out to the community and teaches people to play drums that don't know how to play drums, to give kids an outlet to play drums. So what he's going to be doing here on campus at about 11:15, he's going to run a drum circle, and we're going to be there. We're going to be playing alongside of him, and anybody is welcome to come up. He's going to bring a number of different drums from different cultures, and we're just going to all kind of jam in that circle and just kind of mesh together. And that's one of the coolest things that we have going on that day.
Trust me, that kind of stuff can be pretty cathartic, and it's midterms time.
Oh yeah, the drums is definitely a stress reliever, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, like as Hunter said, it's an outlet, how I see drumming is it's a way to get out a little bit of energy and release the creativity fluids in your mind and just let loose what you have going on in there.
Yeah,
It's a half dozen different people all meshing their stuff together. It can sound amazing.
Absolutely, and that's one of the key elements is collaboration here. Without chemistry as a group, we can't function. We cannot function. We have to be together, and we have to be intertwined and write on the same. That's the purpose of being able to count your music as you play it. That's the purpose of being able to feel the tempo as you feel it, because everybody has to be on the same page for it to work the way that it's supposed to. And what's really cool is seeing all of these different people, all of these people that come from all these different backgrounds come together, and then at this one time we can all come together, release that creativity, and be together.
Yeah,
It's just kind of fun seeing a bunch of white guys with rhythm.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting for sure.
Absolutely. So go see them out on Grizzly Fest. I'll be there too. I'll be sure definitely to talk back with you guys on the 1 hour spectacular. We're gonna have tents around and all RSO, so I'll be walking around and trying to get every RSO interviewed on this spectacular episode. Definitely we'll catch you guys on stage too. Yeah.
So we perform at the faculty student concert. What date is that again?
That's going to be on November 14th. We do that every semester. There's a student faculty concert every semester. Most of the people that come out there, it's for academic purposes, right? So that's one way that we're serving the community. We're providing that content for academics. But what we would like to see is just people come out and check out this music and check out all these different kinds of music that we have on campus too. There's not just percussion out there. I mean, we advocate for the whole arts community. We want to see everybody grow around here, not just us, but everybody that performs, everybody that needs that outlet for creativity. We want more of that on this campus for sure.
Absolutely. It's a good way to relax too, because November, that's getting ready for finals week and final exams and final studying. So it's a good way to kind of relax your mind a little bit, is to come see out the arts in terms of music. Do you guys ever think about maybe thinking about talking to anyone about having a music degree or music program here at GTC? Because I don't think we
are pushing for a music minor.
We are. We're, this was probably when did we start that? Probably like 2 years ago now. Not even. No, maybe like a year and a half ago. We had there was an event out here in the plaza, and we garnered upwards to 500 signatures going towards a music minor.
Wasn't that last Cruiser Fest?
No, that was before that.
Okay.
We started all that. But yes, those proposals they've been on the books. And we're trying to still get those pushed through right now. Facilities and funding is a big issue.
Yeah.
And so we're pushing to find those outlets, that funding, those facilities, so that we can push forward into the future.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why I asked that, because, there's quite a few friends in RAs and students that are here that wish we had a music major here at GGC, because they're artists. They are starving artists. They're trying to find outlets out there, and they're trying to find ways to get their music heard or their creativity to be heard. So that's the reason why I had asked that, because it would be a good one.
You got to start with a minor, because when the Board of Regents comes back, they're going to observe how many people are wanting to study this program. And if we have to collect that data. So what that's going to require is the same thing that percussion requires. We're all going to have to come together.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd love to see someone who has a major in CMAP but a minor in music and see what they could do. That would be. I can imagine.
There's unlimited possibilities. Music can go with any career. You can spin it and twist it. Entrepreneurial approach. Music is one of the best ways to reach people.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I love music.
And for your STEM folks,
who doesn't?
For your STEM folks, to a certain degree, music can be broken down to just playing math, done in a beautiful way.
Percussion, especially. We basically we are math. This is math. You have to figure out how many notes fits into a certain amount of time with a certain tempo, and all of this depends on numbers. All of this requires on us being able to feel those numbers. And so,
believe my brother. So if you ever meet my brother, he played percussion. Me and him both. We did band, so I did saxophone, he did percussion.
Okay.
I dropped out a
Sax
little bit.
man, yes
yeah,
sir.
I dropped out a little bit.
Sunglasses and
something
all.
Smooth, something jazzy. I dropped out. I left before he did. He stuck with it for a good minute, and he left. He went on to find something else. But I'll be sure to talk to him about this. Hey,
you should. Also, I want to make a good note as well. Grizzly Percussion is not only resigned to students here at the school. We have it written in our constitution that anybody can join. Anybody can join this club. Anybody can be a member. We actually have a gentleman here right now. He's a piano tuner, and I believe he's in his mid-50s, and he comes and plays with us every Monday. Every Monday. So that's a point I'd like to make, is even if you're hearing this and you're outside the community here at GGC, we would love to have you.
And there's no music experience required. I do have a bit of a musical background, but I didn't play any percussion. I was all woodwind and brass. I picked up drumming last year through them.
This man started off playing the cowbell. That's all he played.
Oh wow!
Yeah, basically. I was stuck on cowbell all of last year.
Don't say it with such animosity. You love it.
It's not that bad.
Well, it's not. But now you wouldn't believe some of the stuff he can pull up. It's about growth here at Grizzly Percussion. That's what we want. We want you to grow. We want you to come in, and we want you to learn something new that makes you feel good.
Yes. Music does make everyone feel good.
And though we do accept people with no musical background, we do recommend that you come to Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's mainly the beginner days. Like if you don't have much experience, Mondays are more for like an advanced group.
You're welcome to come.
welcome
I
to
mean,
come,
you know what my man is saying here is Tuesdays and Thursdays we're introducing you to percussion. Okay, we're gonna start kind of getting your feet wet with it. Mondays is already a pretty tight knit group. We've already got a lot of things that we have down that we're working together on. Right.
Yeah. A lot of those are when we do performances. It's the Monday group people.
And while that you know, I don't want to label it as the advanced group, but if I'm gonna look at something that is my core right now, that is the group of guys that has really put a lot of dedication to this. If you're ready to put dedication to this, come on Mondays for sure. Okay, and we would love to have you for that commitment. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you just want to come out, you just want to get your feet wet, play some drums, get a knowledge of how it feels. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to come on any day. But you know that distinction is necessary to tell people. We don't want you to feel intimidated. We want you to feel welcome. Right? That's one of my biggest things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good point, man. Good point.
One question I had on my mind that just came up. I used to do marketing assistant work with Grizzly Athletics. Have you guys ever thought about playing for Grizzly Athletics, maybe to a soccer game or to a softball game?
Absolutely. We've talked to, you know, I personally have talked to Ned Colgrove, and he and I have been back and forth on the idea. And as soon as we get something organized to that point, we're definitely wanting to go out to a soccer game and play in the stands, you know. And we we've been back and forth for the idea. We just want to solidify that before we go out there, you know. We want to make sure that we're able to put the best show on possible. So
we need enough people who are capable of playing some. It's just availability.
Okay, absolutely. We're gonna make that really happen for sure. I don't work with athletics anymore, but I'm still affiliated. I still try to help them out in any way I can. So I'll be sure.
You were from the game development. You were in the game development group at one point.
I was. Yes, I was.
not game development.
Grizzly game.
Like video games, but the Grizzly game.
Grizzly game group. Yeah.
I remember seeing you in some of those meetings.
Yep, I was there, sitting there trying to make something happen. Of course, you know. My wheel kind of turned right and had to go with it. So before we wrap up here on the podcast, of course, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty with the instruments here. I know they're percussion, but I wouldn't know the official name for them. Maybe for the audio.
What you see right here in front of you on the table, this is just a drum pad. This is a practice pad, and it's meant to not be loud. It's meant to just provide you just a surface to be able to, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Not replicate a drum, but just kind of give you give you an experience
without creating a sheer volume that a normal drum
can. And it sounds a little like this. So that's
a little softer. I like it.
Yeah. So it gives you kind of a soft sound, and this is what, you know, people get bored by this. People that play drums, they are bored to death by this, okay? Because this is what you are going to spend hours on with a metronome clicking in your ear, learning your basic techniques on, right? And eventually, you know, you could do something a little bit like you just heard right there, but nobody starts off. Let me play something basic for you that we just start off with. We literally, for, you know, minutes and minutes at a time, maybe 10 minutes at a time, we'll just sit there, lock in on a tempo on this.
I had to do the counts in my head,
and those are eighth notes. Those are eighth notes, you know. So that's you know, generally, like when you start off, nobody's starting off with. Nobody's doing that out the gate. I've been playing for 11 years. I think it's important to put that out there. Tyler, how long have you been playing, man?
Probably about maybe 5 years.
5 years, right? Okay. And then Colin was a French horn player
1
before.
year.
Yeah.
I did French horn, trumpet, and bagpipes before all this, but it's been years since I played anything.
Right. So I guess maybe we want to move on to this little guy. This little guy, right?
Yeah.
So this is just a small representation of an actual instrument called a djembe. Okay. This little guy, I got this in the Caribbean when I was like 10 years old. 10 years old, I got this in the Caribbean. My teacher sponsor made sure to explain the distinction to me. This is not an actual djembe. This is a different culture's recreation of that instrument. The djembe actually comes from Central Africa.
This is a product of the African diaspora.
Right. This is inspired by the actual traditional African instrument, but this guy right here is what's known as a djembe. And you can do a number of things with it. There's several sounds you can make on it. Colin, you know how to make the different distinctions in sound? I can do it if you'd like.
How many is here?
The middle of the... Yeah, this is actually my personal one. So you have three general sounds that you can make on a djembe. There's a slap.
Okay.
Right? There's a shot. And then there's a bass noise. So that would come together with something to this effect.
Okay.
Personally, I love these things the most.
There's that.
Because
it's so much fun. So much fun to play on those.
As someone who came from brass instruments, I like having people do total differences on one instrument rather than have multiple drums to get any kind of different sound.
Come on, man. Let's get you sounding off on this thing a little bit, man. Show them what you know, man. Show them what you know. That brings me to the next instrument. That brings me to the next one. I'm actually sitting on it.
Yes.
I'm actually sitting on it right now. I brought my own
damaging
chair today. This is what's called a cajon. Okay, and this comes from Brazilian culture. Obviously, this is not a Brazilian cajon. This is a recreation. Okay. But what this did for them in the times where there was a lot of enslavement that went on in Brazil, they created this to look like a chair that they could just sit on, so that way when a guard or somebody like that came by and they heard musical instruments, there was this confusion. Where is it? You know. Yeah. But then when they left, they were like, they'd say what drum to the guy that came by. But then when they left. So there's three distinct sounds you can get from this too. Okay, you can play on the sides. There's a snare, a snare sound is up here.
Yeah.
Right? And down here, when you open your hand up like this, or in just kind of a cupped motion, and you get a bass. Oh, okay. So you get... Let's see it, man. Come on.
Hold on, I don't fiddle around this much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you need the chemistry. You do need the chemistry with all three. If I had to vote, that's my favorite.
Oh, yeah? Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you take a little drum on it, man? Come on.
Really
hold on.
Let's see. Maybe we'll make a member out of you, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so hold it right here?
Yep. So, yeah, that's one place you can hold it. Here, I would hold it off the chair and between your legs, so where the audio comes from is the hole that's
the hole in the
bottom. Yeah. So
if you want to mute that thing, cover that up.
Basically, yeah.
I'm not a drummer.
Hey, man, that's okay. Neither was he a year ago.
Am I doing it?
Okay. If you just see, sometimes it's about keeping it simple. It's not always about playing a complex rhythm. Sometimes it's just about keeping it simple and feeling the groove with the people that you're with, right?
Right.
So you hear what he's playing? What does that sound like? The warm-up exercise I was just showing you. You know what I mean? And that's why the basics are so important to all of this, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's my favorite.
And so one last thing. Okay,
yes.
What we're resigned to playing on right now, believe believe it or not, I don't actually know if I can say this out loud where these are from, so I'm not going to. But this is from a restaurant, and they just like donated these to us.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's a cross sponsorship there.
Yeah. Might be some trademark issues if I say where these are from. But we kind of use these as somewhere between a tom and a snare, right? Like so this. Step back there and give him a small taste.
Small little taste.
Yeah, small little
Hopefully
taste.
no one comes upstairs and like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, full crash. Go for it.
Sorry.
Ready?
I'm so sorry.
And that just happened. I knew you were going to do that.
Oh.
I don't play these.
Oh, it's good. Chill out.
Let the guy.
And that's what okay. So my friend, we'll admit our mistakes. My friend just inverted those crash cymbals, and I popped them out. But that's where knowledge comes into play, right?
Yeah.
That is where.
Now Tyler here is the one who actually.
Why don't we let the man that owns them?
Tyler here is the one who actually owns these
I knew he was
cymbals,
gonna
and they're his personal cymbals. Let him.
That would probably be good. Yeah, why don't you just edit that part out? But here you go. Here you go.
I like the motion he did.
Oh, because he actually was on cymbal line in high school. So
Okay. Hold on.
yeah, man.
Bring it forward.
Crash cymbals are about flashiness too, you know.
Right.
No. You're
He
gonna want.
does go snare.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely.
A little off the rails there. My bad.
You're fine. It was good. Did you get all that on? Precious got it on video.
Can we go ahead and can we plug social media?
Yes,
one more
that
time,
was going to be
man?
the last thing for
One
the
more
show
thing?
here. Plug
Okay.
your social media. And what I like to do, too, on podcasts is shout-outs.
Sure.
Anybody, family, friends,
I'm going to shout out another
colleagues.
organization if I can.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
On the
sure.
show for
I'm going
you.
to go ahead. Here's our social media. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm really thankful for each and every one of you and thankful for all the people that listen across campus. Keep doing what you do because we love each and every one of you. Please follow us on Instagram. It is grizzly_percussion. Again, that's grizzly_percussion. You can see what we're doing around campus and what we're going to be doing in the community in the future on there. That's our only social media at this time.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say, honestly.
Absolutely. Did y'all have any shout-outs? Friends, families, colleagues?
Oh,
others?
just reminded me. I'll say that.
Hey, I just like banging on things and making noise.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what we do. I mean, I initially got drawn in because I had class time available. It was a Monday night group. It was in between two classes for me. I had nothing else to do. And the advisor who does a lot of work with the club, I had previously had a class with, so I knew him personally. And I just, stopped by in between two classes, and I just fell in love with the group.
And that's what happens. We've got a lot of people that have just met us in the past year, and we're starting to kind of become like a family around here. Yeah. And that's one of the coolest things about the dynamic of this group, and the dynamic you have to be a drum line or a percussion group is just like that chemistry. And we hang out outside. So shout out to all my members. I love all of you guys. Shout out Nick Abrams, Alex Parrish, Sam Groom, Victoria Costi. Shout out. Am I missing anybody? Help me not miss anybody. Okay. Shout out Tyler Jameson. Shout out Brent Erickson. Shout out Colin Blankenship and Tyler Jameson. Again, I'll say that twice. They're here with me today. But every single one of you guys, I love all of you, and I'm thankful for you. Shout out Todd Mueller, Dr. Todd Mueller, who is his degree is in percussion performance, and he has personally been my drum teacher since I was in high school. Oh, wow. I'm thankful for him, and I'm thankful for everybody that helps to make this vision and this organization a reality. I would also like to shout out one more organization, actually shout out to Prelude Music and everything that they're doing over there. Mm-hmm. There's a whole lot of love in this community around here, and we hope to bring more of that to you guys in the future. Did I miss anybody?
If we miss somebody,
Of our core, I don't think.
Of our core, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we missed you, we're so
Oh,
sorry.
and I'm sorry. Okay, hey, shout out to everybody on Tuesdays and Thursdays yet. You know, I may not know all of y'all's names individually yet, but all of you guys are awesome too, and I hope you keep coming out. I hope you keep striving to learn more. I hope you keep wanting to become more with this group. Shout out to my man Charlie, and shout out to my man Christian. You guys have been pretty consistent on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's a whole lot of love going on, and we just hope to see more of it in the future.
Absolutely. So that's going to wrap it up with the Grizzly Talk podcast, the wonderful Grizzly Percussion. See them on Grizzly Fest this Saturday. Hopefully you guys come on out this Saturday. It's going to be a good weather degree, too. It's going to be about 85 degrees last time I checked. So hopefully we get to feel that fall. In October. Finally in October. Drink water. Drink water.
At least it is at 90 degrees.
Yeah. Well, yes.
It's going to be 90 degrees now. But meetings are on Mondays from 5 until 6:30 in B1500, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 o'clock until 3 o'clock in front of B1500 is where we will meet. Hope to see you guys out there.
Yeah, absolutely. See them out there, Grizzly Fest Saturday. That's going to wrap up with the Grizzly Talk podcast. I want to thank personally for all the students that helped make this podcast possible, and we'll see you guys in our next podcast show. I'm your host, Kennedy Patterson. See you guys in the next one.